Roberto's bad. As soon as that started playing, I looked to David. What are you doing to me? This is how you welcome a host in today?
Yeah, this is the nice thing to do, right?
Apparently. Thank you so much. Jim Costa in for Rico. Rico's got the day off.
I love that. I love that bit they just played.
Of course you do.
What? It's great.
He hates it.
Why?
He hears
You
it
really
as
don't
I'm
like it?
walking out. He says, "Oh God, here we go."
Do you want us to stop playing it?
No. Everything's in good fun.
It didn't cause any problems at home, did it?
No.
What about the other one you got? Where'd you... Hold on.
Wait, did this one cause problems at home? What about volumes 2, 3, and 4?
What about the one where Jim's really hungry? Remember that one?
Yeah, let me find that.
No, you don't have to find that one,
No,
baby.
please do. I want to make sure, like, if we have Cookie's bits, if any of these cause strife, we can...
Oh, I'd pass along if they did. No, you guys are fine. And listen, everything's in good fun. If you're going to make fun of Dan Campbell on the toilet to start the show, I feel like everything's in good fun.
I didn't. That was Roberto. I think on a 2-game win streak, that was probably a little disrespectful.
He sniffed it out.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so here's what I want to do. Couple of notes for you. New episode of Cash the Ticket is out. The Monday recap episode, look ahead lines, a dinner to remember, all kinds of things. It's all there for you. It's free. Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you get your stuff, your podcast, not stuff. New 5-Star Zone is out. Howard Griffith, Rico, all there. I want to get into some college football and change kind of gears and bring up Michigan State. And I know it's weird, like, well, what the hell is there? I want to bring this up because I think it's interesting and it's not typical. Normally, we only talk about teams that are in the conference hunt. But I've said since the beginning of the year, this is going to be a rebuild year for State. I thought they could get to 7 or 8. Maybe they could get to 7. But right now, they just need to take care of Saturday, get bowl eligible.
Get that brass spittoon back.
And get a free roll against Penn State in the last week. But here's what's important. None of us know, beyond shadow of a doubt, that it's going to work with Mel Tucker. I happen to think it will. But I also understand what he inherited. It was not a typical thing. He got hired and 10 minutes later, cutscene, COVID. That's not the same as coaches being at schools when COVID hits. Yes, they all recruited on their computers. One difference. Mel Tucker didn't have years of relationships at said school already built in with the kids. The players who should be year 3, 4, and 5 at Michigan State, they're not with the program because D'Antonio was golfing, and he just didn't do anything. So I understand what he's doing. Now, let me land the plane. Since the Michigan game and Tunnelgate, I think the expectation by many, and I felt it the week after, I thought, man, MSU's getting hit around like a piñata. I think a lot of it's slanderous, but I'll leave it alone. The point is, I thought they'd lay down at Illinois, and I'd go, man, we got a real problem on our hands. They won. They go on the road and beat a ranked team. And there's an energy. Now, they're not good. No one's saying they're good, but the players are playing. That's a credit to the coach, right? What do we talk about? The minute a team doesn't.
Yep. Look at Texas A&M.
Right. All right, MSU goes out, take care of business against Rutgers. Good energy out there. I hate 4th and 30. So does anyone who was laying 9.5. I digress. But primarily, they got their defensive starters back. They beat Wisconsin. The Michigan game wasn't good by any means, but they hung in as long as they could, even though they're inferior. They come out, they take care of business here. Here's my question. If Tucker's able to get this done, take care of business Saturday, win a bowl game, get 7 wins in a year where everything went wrong. Jim, if he ends up getting it right, if Tucker ends up working, whatever your definition is of that, are we going to look back at the Michigan game and the surrounding weeks as where it started? Last year was a magic carpet ride. We all know that. It was exciting. It was fun. It won't be duplicated. You're not going to go and get Thurman Thomas in the portal every year. But I'm asking you, because it's something I was thinking about. It's like we all expected, oh, my God, the wheels may just come off the wagon here. There was a point a lot of people thought they could go 3-9. Well, what if they end up with 7 wins? I wanted your spin because you're outside the matrix.
So 7 wins is not a successful season.
No.
But would it be salvaging a season? Yes. You get those bowl practices, you get the extra time, the development, all that stuff's critically important for a coach who it's been well chronicled what he inherited. Yeah, that would be salvaging the season. Now, if he gets it right, to me, that is winning the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
Like that to me is you beat
where you
both
stop
your rivals.
talking about his contract because the dude's winning like last year.
So you're saying if we get to the point where he does fulfill the contract, does deliver on the expectations, does win a Big Ten title.
Do you think what's taking place right now is the beginning of that?
Yes. I do, because like I was saying, Texas A&M, when it got hard, it got worse. When things got ugly, they got much uglier, to the point where people were talking buyouts and how do you get rid of this guy. And to Michigan State's credit, they're not doing buyouts and how do they get rid of this guy, because they've started to win some football games.
Right. Like, and again, guys, I want to be careful here because I know, Lord knows, you can't say anything remotely positive about State. It's just the idea of we see how easy it is in today's climate for everything to unravel. Look at Miami. Talk about a team laying down and dying.
Yep.
Mario Cristobal has lost that team in year one. Jimbo Fisher. Jim brings up a great example. That team is on a 7-game losing streak. At Texas A&M, the team is quit. Kids portal, right? How about SMU? They lost a couple of games. They lost 4 starters to the portal. You're not seeing any of that at State. So the only point I'm making is he's kept it together. They're not good, but at least they fight. I will take someone who is limited in talent but tries over the alternative.
But it's similar to a little bit of what's going on with the Lions, where the fight's what you need at the beginning, but then there comes a point where the fight can't be all that you've got.
Right. I just want to know if this is kind of where people are at with it. I know it's not sexy because you're talking about a team that might get 6 or 7 wins, but let's be real. If I said to you a month ago, MSU would make a bowl, MSU would play really good football down the stretch with the limited pieces they have. Oh, by the way, missing 8 players. I think you would have laughed at me.
You know what I think, though? And you tell me if I'm being too harsh or unfair. Win the Penn State game.
No, I don't.
Win the Penn State game. Because if you just end up beating a bloated Illinois team and a Rutgers team and a Wisconsin team that had fired their coach, I might want to slow the galvanizing talk. But if you beat a team, I'm just saying, if you end the year with an exclamation mark, what would that be? Would that be 5 of 6 to close the year?
Yeah.
5 of 6 to close the year. You beat Penn State, a team that is ranked at the time, on the road. That would mean not only did you keep everybody from infighting, you actually beat somebody to close the season. And then you go to your bowl and you do all your deal there.
And if you want to look a headline, let me offer it to you. Because I said this earlier, and I was mocked by James W. Powers. Right now, it's Penn State minus 5.5.
Puncher's chance?
Absolutely, because I think James Franklin's a boner. My point, and I don't think Penn State's any good.
And again, no one is saying this is a successful season for Michigan State if they win the next 2 games. It would be 5 of 6, including a couple games on the road against teams that are ranked. Penn State being the more impressive.
Compare it to the way it started, to the way it finished, knowing what he's got, understanding the younger players are on the way. I'm asking if you look at this and go, okay, I was shaky. I started to doubt the guy. Do you now look at it and go, you know what? I think he's the right guy for the gig, and we can get to next year where clearly, much like Dan Campbell, it has to look a hell of a lot better.
Yep.
Anything south of 8 next year is unacceptable. Why? Because you have 2 to 3 built-in W's when you start the year.
Well, and beyond that, you also need to get back into the portal. And yeah, you're not finding a Kenneth Walker every year, but you need better returns in the portal to supplement the rebuild, because I don't think you get forever.
I agree with you. Here's the deal. I think next year's the last year you're going to see State really utilize the portal out of necessity. Like, I give an example. They're good at safety moving forward. I think they'll be fine. Corner, you've got freshmen on campus right now. Now, I would hope that you'd see some of those kids next year, but Jim, you know what I know. You can't go into the season with a pair of freshman corners. No. You need someone in the portal. I'm with you. Yeah, you got to do better. You make the evaluations. You can't bring in guys that simply can't play.
But I'm saying I gave him credit for finding Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
You get credit. People at the time, and you know the fan base that was doing it, but you have people saying, well, this is the only reason they're good. yeah, you get credit for finding really good football players by leaving no stone unturned, by using the portal to your advantage. And then when the following year you don't get the same results, we should be critical of Mel Tucker.
I have no issue with it. None. I don't shy from that.
No, and I know you
but
won't.
I understand why he's using it, and it's not because it's fun. It's because there's nothing there.
Well, and it'd be nice if Izzo felt the same way and used the portal too, but that's a different conversation.
You know, I said it to Rico, and he got so mad at me. Rico was telling me how, like, oh, they had to put a walk-on center in. I go, yeah, well, it's weird when you leave 4 scholarships open. Weird how that works.